My Life and Ethiopia's Progress, Chapter 16, about our journey from Alexandria to Paris. On the first day of Genbot, which is the 9th of May 1924, we embarked on a boat called Cordelier, and when the ship began its journey on a farewell salute was fired by cannon. On the 6th of Genbot, which is the 14th of May in the Gregorian calendar, when we had passed Corsica and came within view of the great fortifications at Toulon, a warship came to receive us. From there until we approached Marseille, many aeroplanes were hovering in the air. As 5 warships passed on the right and left of our ship, they fired their guns. As we disembarked from the ship, the prefect of the district of Marseille and the mayor of the city, together with many officials, received us. Among these, we were pleased to see and to meet Monseigneur Lagarde, who, since the days of my father, His Highness Ras Makonnen, had been the friend of Ethiopia and ourselves, and had formerly been France's envoy extraordinaire and minister plenipotentiary in Ethiopia. After we had rested a little while in Marseille's government buildings, the officers of the warships came and took us to sea once more in order to show us the warships. Thus we saw the strength of the construction and the size of the guns, and then returned greatly impressed. On the morrow, the 8th of Genbot, which is the 16th of May, in the evening, we departed by train for Paris, and when we reached Paris at 4:30 in the morning, which is 10:30 a.m., the new President of the Republic, His Eminence Monseigneur Millerand, and the Prime Minister, Monseigneur Poincaré, all the ministers in full, Marshal Foch, and many other generals received us with great honor. It was in the Quai de Orsay, the palace of the foreign ministry, that quarters had been prepared for us, and seated with the president in an automobile, we proceeded along the parade. After we had rested a little in the palace, we went on a return visit to the President of the Republic at the Elysees Palace, and subsequently returned. The program had laid down that afterwards we should visit the Paris municipality, Hotel de Ville, and at the appointed hour we proceeded there. When we arrived, we found assembled there the President of the Republic and all the ministers, army officers, and the city's notables. When we entered the Great Hall, the Mayor President du Conseil Municipal, Monseigneur Juliard, and the President of the Municipal Councillors made a speech of friendship which greatly touched our hearts, and they expressed to us their pleasure. All the amazing things which we saw in Paris and its surroundings were very numerous. On the many sites we saw during our stay at Paris, the following are the principal ones: the Tomb of Napoleon in Valaides, the airport and an aeroplane display, a tank parade and movement exercise, the opera, Notre Dame de Paris, the Palace of Justice, the Mint. This is the place where the coins were struck on which the effigy of Menelik II appears. The offices of the Legion d'Honneur, the Eiffel Tower, the Palace of Versailles, the Palace of Fontainebleau, the Radio Assembly Hall in St. Elysees, the Artillery College and Artillery Range. It was quite impossible to express in words, on account of the abundance of joy in our heart, the pleasure we felt until the official visit ended, when we were hearing speeches of friendship which were delivered at receptions and banquets, beginning with the President of the Republic, His Eminence Monseigneur Millerand, and including the Prime Minister, Monseigneur Poincaré, and other French authorities, and also when we inspected the various palaces which we have enumerated above. When our official visit was over, we thought of staying on here in Paris in order to have friendly discussions about some matters with the French government and with the Franco-Ethiopian Railway Company. And secondly, as we were desirous to rest here in Paris on our return at the conclusion of each of the official visits to the other governments who had done us the honor of an invitation. We told our friend, Monsignor Lagarde, that he should seek and arrange for us a rented rest house. When he let us know of the readiness of a house on the outskirts of Paris called Villa Camastarand, we went there now at the conclusion of the official visit and took up residence. As soon as it was known that the official days were over, the Ethiopian boys whom we had sent to France for their studies assembled and came to meet with us. Andarg Masai, who was among them, made the following speech of thanks in the name of all of them. Your Highness, we feel pride in our heart when we read, and when we find it written by foreign historians, that our Ethiopian forefathers in ancient times excelled the world in wisdom and strength, and that they were honored and feared as they made their power known as far as the land of Egypt by establishing their cities in Meroe and Napata. But as it is in the Ge'ez language that all our books in our country were written, and as the skill of printing did not exist, it makes us very sad that, apart from a few scholars, the people as a whole do not know the history of the country. But now, through your goodness and your endeavor, the whole world has been impressed by your sending us abroad for study, thinking that Ethiopia will be civilized in wisdom and knowledge as of old, and that she will open her eyes. The whole world has been impressed by your founding schools at Addis Ababa and in other provinces, by your establishing a printing press and causing ancient books, which had been written in Ge'ez, to be translated into Amharic and to be printed, as well as bringing good fortune to the people. We Ethiopian sons remain unceasingly grateful to you because you have made us study, helping all those of us in difficulty so that we should follow European civilization and should know Ethiopian history. But now, the distinguished invitation which the European governments have extended to you, and not to any of the kings of Ethiopia in the past, has come because they know that under your excellent guidance you will cause Ethiopia to be civilized, and your arrival has made the name of Ethiopia heard all over the world. Ethiopia has a duty to thank you, for her joy is not only for the present moment, but will be lastingly transmitted from generation to generation. And we in Paris are convinced of our good fortune in seeing our tree-colored flag fluttering suspended on the mast. Therefore, the whole Ethiopian people, the dead ones in heaven, the living on earth, are in duty bound to give praise. He concluded, speaking at length. In support and encouragement of the speech which had been delivered, we reassured them with in the following peroration. Our thoughts, as we were helping everybody to the best of our ability, is not only for the few of you here, but for all the sons of Ethiopia who should have the opportunity of acquiring education and knowledge. We pray to God that he may grant you to serve your country Ethiopia by persevering in education, and by acquiring wide knowledge. For the future, have courage, for we shall help you do the best of our ability, so that you should not have any sort of financial difficulty until you finish your studies. They expressed to us their heartfelt joy at what we had said to them. As the official visit ended, and we were staying in the specially arranged accommodation, important Frenchmen, who had been friends of the Ethiopian government, and in particular of His Highness my father, as well as of myself, began to arrive and pay us visits. After this, we requested an appointment with the Prime Minister, Monsignor Ponkiari, in order to discuss amicably several matters, and on the appointed day we went to the Foreign Ministry. What we had intended to discuss was that the French should give us a free gateway to the sea at Djibouti, and prior to our departure from Addis Ababa, as we informed the French minister that this was a matter we particularly wished to discuss, some hope had been given to us. Consequently, if they agreed to do this, they should let us know what it was the French government wished to have in exchange for this from us. Secondly, the Treaty of Friendship between the Ethiopian and French governments, referred to as the Klobowski Treaty, and in particular the judicial matters laid down in paragraph 7, were extremely irksome to us, and, without abrogating the treaty, the two governments, while maintaining its usefulness, might cause a few improvements to be effected. When we informed Monsignor Ponchiare of these our intentions, he gave us his word that he would present our plan to Parliament and that they would think about it in the most friendly manner.